Hey, there we go. Good evening, everybody. It's Friday night. Who's here? Tony's here today. Bang on. First on, Tony. Good evening, mate. How are you? It's Friday. Lulu's here. Someone else is here. Someone else I just missed as well. Welcome to Book Club. Bulletproof Book Club. Here it is. I've had a long day today, and I'm so glad I've got a coffee. I really need to get with it. I've got an awesome chapter to read for book club tonight. For those who haven't got a clue, who might be on here for the first time or watching this on the replay, if you watch it on the replay, thank you so much for being here. But we scope on a Friday night all about, well, a book that's going to basically help you get further in your life much faster. This month's book is The Charge by Brendon Burchard. It's activating the 10 human drives that make you feel alive. And tonight we're looking at the Drive for Challenge. If it sounds good to you, give me some hearts. Thank you for sharing, Tony. Just noticed that you shared this. Hearts are coming through. People are looking forward to it, which is awesome. It is really good. There's one part particular. I just want to read 5 pages of the book tonight. It's one part in particular that I think is really relevant for actors. For those who are watching this and you're an actor, it's going to be really relevant for you. If you're not an actor, it's still relevant for you. It's just I shouldn't actually say that as if like actors are something different. One thing I'm fed up of is reading things on like Facebook and stuff about how almost life is just so much harder for actors than anybody else. Bullshit. You chose to be an actor, right? You're not special. Your career's not more special than someone who's chose to be a solicitor or an accountant or a plumber or a restaurant manager. Deal with it, right? Give me some hearts if you agree with that. I agree with that. I'm sick of people going, oh, the struggle, whatever, nonsense. But yeah, there's a part in this chapter all about rejection, and that's what I mean. Actors face rejection quite regularly within their job, obviously because they're auditioning for things, so maybe they face it slightly more regularly than people in other careers. But yeah, I'm all about just sort of leveling the playing field when it comes to careers and stuff. Actors aren't particularly special. We get to do the job. We don't have to do it, which is great. Warren, good evening. Good to see you. Tell you what, just before, check this out. I've got a new. I don't know if I'm allowed to even do this on Periscope, but I've got a new song I was listening to. I thought I need to pump myself up before this because I'm feeling a bit tired. Sass in action already. Yeah, no. Did you see that, Sam? Just started getting opinionated already. Jack Garrett, Breathe Life. Who's heard this song? Let me play the chorus. It's awesome. This will pump you up for Friday. Wait a minute. How good's that? I won't talk over it like DJs who are really annoying at parties. Tune though, it's a good song. Listen to it. Jack Garrett, Breathe Life. It's got a great chorus. I heard Craig David cover it online, and I went, "Oh, I'll go and listen to the original." It's great. Mia's here. Mia, good evening. Not seeing you for a bit. Hope you are well. For those actors on the scope who are from the north or from Manchester, Mia runs something called Manchester Casting Social. You can go onto Facebook, search for the group, join it. Awesome, very positive, productive group. So tonight, guys, yeah, we're looking at the Drive for Challenge. Okay, the Drive for Challenge in Brendon's book. This is the last book club on Brendon Burchard's The Charge. We've done 3 weeks on it. This is the 4th and final one. We're gonna have a new book for next week. I'll let you know what that is during next week, before Friday. We looked at in week 1 all about the 3 different types of lives that most people lead. The first one was a caged life, which most people in life, unfortunately, would just resign themselves to. That's basically working for someone they don't want to work for, feeling stuck in a job, maybe stuck in a relationship they don't want to be in, surrounded by peers and friends who are battery drainers, not battery chargers, and basically just feel like, they're just on some kind of like roller coaster on a track that they can't get off, and they can't steer that roller coaster in the direction that they want. Up from that is the comfortable life, which most people settle for, and that's where they experience a bit of success. They might be earning a reasonable amount of money not to feel the fear, and they'll be comfortable enough. But there's a life above that we're all striving for on this scope, and that's the charged life, which is exactly what the entire book's about. And basically, just striving to grow, you know, step out of that comfortable life, you know, reach for the next, you know, the next level, whatever that is to you. Tonight, yeah, we're looking at the drive for challenge, which is obviously essential. You've got to challenge yourself if you want to hit that next level. We'll give people just a couple of minutes to join, just for those who, yeah, let's give them 2 minutes to join, just for those who are still maybe getting on the scope. Just let us know how your week's been. What challenge have you faced in your week this week? I had an absolute mega challenge today. Nothing whatsoever to do, nothing absolutely whatsoever to do with my career or anything, but my mum had ordered herself a new couch, a new 3-piece suite thing from Furniture Village. Other shops are available. She's like, oh, will you make sure you're in and come round, you know, when they're delivering it, because you know, might need some help with some things. I was like, yeah, of course. Came round. Oh my god. This thing, like the guys who were delivering it could not get it in the house, you know, through the door, because the doorways are like too narrow. We ended up literally demolishing, practically, I mean honestly, demolishing my mum's kitchen, taking units off the wall, ripping out cupboards, taking doors off hinges. Insane, but we got there in the end. Warren met Selena for a coffee today. Awesome. Also got my next job. I missed that. Something about your next job. Pivot, friendly moment. Yeah, I can't be too sassy all night, Sam. Definitely. Yeah, let us know what your challenges were. But we got the sofa in, and it looks awesome. But that was a massive challenge, absolutely insane. And then I challenged myself in the gym too much. I'm sure I've pulled something in my neck. So any other challenges before we begin? And I'll start with a quote that Shakespeare. This is quite apt, isn't it? Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar said, "Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once." Pretty sweet, that, isn't it? So basically, cowards don't ever, you know, just don't ever strive to, you know, to get what they want. They just don't bother, and effectively just fail by default. Whereas those who are valiant and go for it and learn something, even if they do fail, they never taste death, only when they actually die. Been challenging to unplug and make more time for myself. You must do that. Definitely at least take a day a week where you disconnect, Tony. No, the Friends scene where they pivot on the stairs. Oh, right. Try to get the new soap. Yeah. Oh, it was worse than that, though. Way worse than that, Sam. Honestly, we literally, I mean, honestly, like pulled cupboards off the walls. And the guys are like, oh, we only have 15 minutes to drop this off. And they took like an hour and 10 minutes. I gave him a little tip. It was all good. It was all good in the end. So yeah, don't be. Hi, Kim. How are you doing? Don't be the coward guys that dies multiple times in their life. You want to actually only die when you die. Okay, metaphorically speaking. There's 3, as always, in this chapter. There's 3. We've not really started yet, Kim. Don't worry. There's 3 activators that Brendon uses. You'll know from previous scopes. There's been in previous scopes. He breaks down each chapter into activators for the drive that we're talking about. So there's 3 activators for the drive for challenge. We're only going to have time to look at one of them. But the first one was choosing fulfilling challenges. So make sure you're obviously choosing fulfilling challenges in your life. The second one is the one that I want us to look at. And that's titled "Focus on the Journey and Don't Fear Rejection." I think it's very apt for for every human being on the planet, but particularly for those in the acting profession. And the third activator is called "Set Monthly 30-Day Challenges." I am plugged in and I'm on aeroplane mode, Kim. Yes, I am, and I've even turned off notifications now. So like the other night when my mate Josh was FaceTiming us and it kept coming up and cutting the scope off. I'm hoping that now doesn't happen because notifications are off, so it won't even tell me that's going on. So tonight, yeah, we're looking at focus on the journey and don't fear rejection. It's only 5 pages, but it's super relevant. So I'll begin, and then you can comment, and I'll throw the gauntlet down at you guys and ask you what you think as well. So Brendon says, as you're leaping mountains and conquering the world, which we all want to do, don't we? At the end of the day, we're here for a good time, not a long time. It's good to know in advance where you'll get stuck. Inevitably, we all face new doubts and fears as we take on greater and greater challenges. So I would be remiss not to address them here. Okay, it's inevitable throughout life. You're gonna face doubts, and you know, all about yourself, your environment, the people in your life, everything. You're always gonna face doubts and have fears, you know, of the challenges that you might want to undertake. There tend to be 2 mental villains we all face when fighting the good fight on the path to a new dream. The first one, write this down. Tony, you take notes. Write this down, pal. The first one, okay, The first mental villain we all face when fighting the good fight on the path to a new dream is unmet expectations. Okay, so unmet expectations, and the second one is a paralyzing fear of rejection. So two things to look out for when you're setting new challenges in your life. Okay, unmet expectations, and they're from past experiences that might affect, you know, and bias you for taking on new challenges, and a paralyzing fear of rejection. Okay, we can all relate to unmet expectations. We've all engaged and worked our tails off on projects in the past. It's very polite, Brendon, any tails. We've all worked our arses off in the past, only to feel that we weren't rewarded or recognised as much as we had hoped or deserved. That's life. And because that's life, it's time we changed our entire approach to what we expect from challenge. Okay, guys? To live a charged life, you've got to alter your beliefs about why you take on a challenge. So first of all, who's experienced that? Who's ever kind of like, you know, set themselves a challenge, felt like they've smashed it, but just kind of like their expectations have not been met when they've got there? There was a great video I watched, Jim Carrey doing a speech, and he said, "I wish I could give you all the fame and fortune that you are kind of craving and searching for right now, just to prove to you that it's like, you know, getting to the top of a mountain, you know, scaling that mountain for such a long time, struggling, getting right to the top, looking out and going, oh, thought the view would be a bit better than this." So who's ever experienced that? Have you had a challenge that you've smashed, but then you've gone, oh, it didn't quite bring me what I thought it would bring me? For most people, taking on a challenge is all about the outcome. Love that quote from Jim Carrey. It's a good one, Tony. It's a good one. I don't know if I got it spot on, but it's, you know, you get the gist of it. So for most people, taking on a challenge is all about the outcome. So see if this is you, all right? The reward at the end of the road of effort. They accept new projects at work because they believe they'll get them raises. They decide to lose weight because it'll make them fit into smaller jeans. They learn a language so that they can order food in another country. They take on a competitor to win a trophy and the crowd's admiration. In each case, these people are chasing results. So are you just chasing results in your life right now? Focusing on the destination rather than the journey is something we're culturally conditioned to do at the earliest stage of life. So the challenge of learning the alphabet is to get the gold star. Who had competitions at school? Like I had a chart at my school where we got, like, depending on what we did, we got stars that you put on kind of like this weekly tracker. And at the end of the week, the person with the most stars got to put their hand in the sweet jar and get like a lollipop or something like that. But it was all about that end game. So it wasn't about going, I'm going to enjoy learning English, or I'm going to enjoy learning maths. It was like, man, if I just get this right, I'm going to get a lollipop at the end of the week. So we're culturally conditioned, yeah, you know, to do this from the earliest stage of life. Okay, studying and working hard gets us a good report card. Ultimately, that's what we're after at school, you know, and acceptance into a good college, and then a good job and a better paycheck and the ability to afford the nice house and the nice car, and then the better house and more cars, and on it goes. This study, you know, the study hard, work hard dynamic, we're told, will lead to everything we ever wanted. You used to get a Bumblebee badge. Nice, Kim. This study hard, work hard dynamic, we're told, will lead to everything we ever wanted. Usually something we're told we should want. Money, wealth, power, status, achievement and accumulation. All these rewards of effort are extrinsic rewards received from the outside world. Unfortunately, our lives become about taking on challenges that are driven by such rewards, and suddenly we wake up one day and feel dead inside. So maybe you've experienced that. There's always, you know, no matter what you're chasing materialistically, all these extrinsic rewards, it's always going to be the next one, isn't there? You know, I'll see people. I remember when I used to, because I'm a geek, right? I'm a proper geek. I remember when I used to kind of like be like, oh yeah, I've got the iPad. Oh, it's amazing, yeah. And then they'll bring one out and go, oh yeah, but have you got the iPad 2? You know, oh man, I've got the iPad 2. Yeah, but have you got the iPad Air? Got the iPad Air. Oh well, have you got the iPad Air 2? Oh well, I've got the 50-inch plasma TV. Yeah, but have you got the curved screen? You know, as soon as you get something, there's something else that you can kind of upgrade to extrinsically. And the things that we're after, the challenges in life that we should be focusing on, are the things and the rewards that are intrinsic, that are internal. So Brendon says, look, you know, why do we feel dead inside? Because extrinsic rewards, as I've shared before, don't actually satisfy us. Money moves the happiness needle up only until you get around the average income of the country you live in. So saying on the scope the other night, money can buy you happiness. Definitely lights up a part of your brain, but only you know, to a certain point. Fame, power, status and materialistic accumulation usually moves the needle up only a few points just in the first year or so that you have them, and mostly only because the feeling of having these trappings is novel and may inspire pride, and then only if you really earned it through your direct efforts. The catch with extrinsic rewards is that they're never enough, and they set us up on a slowly increasing incline on the treadmill of more. Okay, so don't get on that treadmill of more. One day we wake up with many of the extrinsic rewards we've been chasing for so long, yet we feel nothing about them. So think of the most rewarding things you've been given in your life. What have they been? Have they been extrinsic things? Like, you know, here you go, well done, here's a trophy. Or have they been a comment from somebody who goes, oh my God, you know, Tony, man, thanks so much for that, because like, it's changed my life. Things that you can't, you know, that aren't extrinsic, that you can't buy. To avoid this, we've got to follow the wisdom of the ancients, says Brendon, who told us to focus on the journey rather than the destination. Now, I know this sounds a bit cliched, and we've covered this before, but bear with me, because Brendon puts a new spin on this in a second. Don't worry whether you'll succeed at the highest level or not as you're on the journey. Instead, be in the moment during the journey. Enjoy it, live it, and learn from it. Pay attention to what's in front of you one step at a time, relishing in your efforts and the new knowledge, skills and abilities you're picking up along the way. Learn to enjoy the process of taking on your challenges and celebrating your own effort as much as your results. The more you focus on the journey, the more the challenges feel engaging and surmountable. Of course, this is all great personal development advice, but realists will say that people are too scared to take on big challenges and free themselves from the outcomes because human beings, they say, are so scared of failure and social rejection. If you're like a lot of my readers, one reason you don't take on bigger challenges in life is because you're afraid of how others will judge you as you embark or fail. So let's take this fear of rejection head on so you can overcome it. So who just admit it, put your hand up, I'll be first to admit it. Who's not embarked on a challenge because of fear of rejection or failure? I know I have, like so many times in my life, loads and loads and loads of times. So I've gone, oh, you know what, that'd be cool, but actually, no. I was talking to my brother just today. My brother wants to get into a new career. He's very successful in the IT industry, and he earns a lot of money, a serious amount of money. So he's got comfortable with his life. And he's like, actually, you know what? I'd love to get into this part of life. He wants to, it's mental. He wants to go into dealing diamonds. A little bit crazy. But I had a really great conversation with him today, and I know that step out of his comfort zone is a real fear of his in case it goes wrong, because obviously, you know, there's quite a bit of, not just money involved in that industry, but actually danger as well, because you've got to go to countries sometimes that aren't that stable. And he's going, well, is there a part in this industry where I wouldn't have to travel to those kind of areas, you know, and still make the margin on the diamonds? It's all a bit crazy, but I know. And he admitted, you know, openly that it was fear that was stopping him. You know, it was him getting himself in his own way. Yes, I bottled an MT Agent open audition once because I was worried about the movement call. Ah, okay, right. So yeah, no, I've definitely more so kind of, you know, a few years back. But I used to bottle a lot of stuff where I'd go, oh, that'd be nice, but you know what? No, if I just hang back. Don't throw my hat into the arena, so to speak, then I can't get hurt, I can't fail, and I'll be alright, okay? And that's absolutely no good whatsoever. You definitely need to start throwing your hat into the ring. So Brendon says, it turns out social rejection isn't something that happens as often as you fear, though, okay? I've asked audiences from around the globe this question. Answer this as well as we go through. How many times have you been rejected in a way that really deeply hurt you? I'm not talking about one of those small embarrassing moments when someone said they didn't like your shoes or your hair. I mean the kind of rejection that really hurt, that stops you from being you or forever altered your identity. I mean a rejection that really hurt and really mattered. How many times? Think about it and just tell us. You don't have to tell us what they are, but think about it. Did that during drama school, wasn't a great success, explored massive challenges, failed but learned, great. Kat saying, yep, from above. So how many times do you think you've really been hurt through rejection, like, you know, where it's changed you forever? I can think of, like, I honestly can think of one right now. You know, we're all pretty young on here, and I'm blessed to only probably have one, but one time, I think, maybe a couple of times, but one in particular, that ultimately, you know, that kind of changed the way that I was and approached things, and taught me some huge lessons. But how many times have you faced that sort of rejection? Not going to an audition and going, sorry, next. Only once for Kat, twice for Sam. It's really interesting, isn't it? We fear rejection so much, but look at this. When we actually say, how has rejection affected us in our lives? Tony, man, how many times? You know, we're saying once and twice. Sure, got kicked out of drama school along with 22 others for not being good enough. I went elsewhere and graduated. There you go. Awesome. Well, there you go. Well, that changed you in a positive way, Warren. Definitely. That was a good rejection then. So yeah, for most people, like on here, we're pretty lucky, but it is only kind of like once or twice, so it seems. So Brendon says, as I've asked this question to my audience from all over the world, the average age of my audience is 40 to 55, so probably a bit older than some of us. So they're not green around the ears though, okay, so these people have been around a long time. 60% are women, most with families, most making a higher than normal income in the countries where they reside. So these are people who, you know, are doing well in life. I got rejected from my police training, best thing ever, great Kim. In fact, I have to think harder at this, tells me not many, brilliant Tony. Okay, so he says, I'll usually ask people to raise their hands as I increase the number. How many times? Twice, 5 times, 7, 10, 15, 20. Among hundreds of audiences and hundreds of thousands of people, the average of the responses has never changed. 7. Most people in the course of their lives, I say we're not 65 yet, but most people in the course of their lives leading up to retirement have been rejected in a way that really hurt them just 7 times. I usually follow up this question by asking the audiences to count the opposite, and I want you to do this as well, right? How many times have you been encouraged by another person in your life in such a way that it's had a very positive effect on your life? I ask the same type of follow-up questions. How many of you have been accepted, cheered on, and encouraged in this way? Once? Twice? 5, 7, 10, 15, 20? When I do this, the audience breaks into rolling laughter. Everyone in the room still has his or her hand up at 20. So I keep going. How many times? How many would guess it's been 100 times? 500? 1,000? More than 1,000? So how many times do you think you've had a word of encouragement? It doesn't have to be huge, but it's impacted you positively, where you've gone, oh wow, this is great. More than once, loads. Exactly, Kat. Definitely. I am so lucky because I get emails from people every week telling me how the stuff that I'm putting out there is helping them, and you know, just really positive comments on a lot, you know, a lot of stuff. It is like hundreds, if not thousands, of times. Okay, so when Brendon says more than 1,000, it says every hand in the room is still up. Here's what's fascinating about all of this. We all fear rejection, yet it turns out that significant rejection barely ever happens. Most adults can recall having been rejected in a way that had a real impact on their lives or identities only 7 times. So the thing holding us back from taking on bigger challenges in life barely ever happens. Even if it happened 100 times by the time we were 40 years old, would that still be enough to convince you to quit taking risks, expressing yourself, going for it? Not me. Okay? It's only 100 times. You're going to get that positive encouragement thousands of times in your life. But don't miss the rest of the story, Brendon says. While 7 may be the average number of people who have significantly rejected us by the time we hit adulthood, the counter to that is the thousands of times we've been supported or encouraged. We went to school with hundreds, if not thousands of people, worked with or interacted with hundreds, if not thousands of people in our adult lives. Co-workers, customers, neighbours, Facebook strangers. And in general, they were accepting or supportive. If they were not supportive people, perhaps they just let us do our own thing, but at least they didn't judge or reject us in a way that altered our identities. All this leads me to ask one question. On the road to your destiny, who and what are you going to pay attention to? The 7 or 8 mean people whose judgment were much more about themselves than you, who are in your rearview mirror. Okay, these people, remember, okay, you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. You can't drive your life looking in the rearview mirror. So you're going to focus on them, those 7 or 8 people, or the thousands of cheers and encouragements you've received that are now lining your path to progress. You choose to tell me, what are you going to focus on from now on? Overlaying 7 people's actions, no matter how hurtful, onto your expectations of the rest of humanity is neither fair nor healthy. There are, of course, people in the world who simply take pleasure in judging others and letting everyone know about it. God, you know what, there's a guy, Alex Hewitt, great guy in our Facebook group. Don't think he comes on the scopes that much, but he posted, I noticed he posted an article that I'd written on actonthis.tv. And it was about comparing yourself, comparing what's going on in your backstage of your life to what you see on social media of someone else's front stage. And generally, if you compare your messy backstage to someone's front stage, you feel shit about yourself. It was making people aware of that. And he posted, he's in one of my classes, really nice guy, Sam. And he posted in a Facebook group who I would not recommend anybody being a part of, and I'll say that on record, but that I like to keep an eye on now and again. He posted it in a Facebook group on Facebook to say, hey guys, I read this and it's inspired me, I think it's really great, maybe you should check it out. And I saw a few people going, oh yeah, so what? Or that entire article to say, be careful what you read on the internet. Oh, blimey. Or someone else is going, oh yeah, well, you know, I kind of get it, but I don't think it's written very well. I don't think I think he really said this, that and the other. And he's trying to dissect it. And it's like, actually guys, you know what? The amount of positive comments I've had about that article is probably in the hundreds now. Whereas that was 3 people on a Facebook group who are all bitter bastards anyway. I'll say that on record as well, because it's my Periscope. And they're probably not getting very far in their life or their career. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to focus on the hundreds of people who are saying it's great, not on those 3 people who have just, you know, it's more about them than it is about me. Because I'm the guy throwing my hat into the arena, as I said before. And until they step up, was the article something you wrote? Yes, it was. Yeah, it was an article that I wrote. If you go on actonthis.tv, you can search in the article section. Just search for backstage or something like that, and it'll pop up. It's a good article though. I was really happy with it, and people really resonated with it. But I was like, I will focus on all of the positive stuff rather than these 3 people, because Jen's here. Jen, good to see you. Because so much in life, sometimes, you know, those 3 people will detract, and they're the people you will focus on the more, you know, more of. It's like if you have some kind of appraisal at work, you get 9 great points, and then you have 1 point where they go, oh, you can improve on this. When you leave the room, what do you focus on? The 1 point where they're like, you should improve in this. So yeah, be careful kind of what you're focusing on. Don't focus on those other people who just like to judge. Just dropping by. Excellent, Jen. Well, we're kind of finishing up in a second, but go back and watch the replay. It's pretty good, but you're here for a good bit actually. So Brendon finishes, he says, rather than give these critics power over you or your future, some asswipes about, they just try to bring you down, not your post, but you personally. Exactly, just idiots. Cool questions to ask. Who are they more critiquing? Yeah, exactly. Precisely, it's more of a reflection of them, without a doubt. But Brendon says, rather than give these critics power over you or your future, simply ignore them, or at your most generous, have sympathy for them. So like I say, so I read posts like that and I'm like, you know what guys, until you throw your hat in the arena and you come up with a platform where you're trying to kind of, you know, inspire, motivate and contribute to this industry, as opposed to just whinge about it, you know, come and see me then when you've done something about it. I'll read your article, see what I think. These are the weak who can sense a surge of power only by preying on the perceived weaknesses of others. These are the ones who have lost their dreams and their connections to hope and humanity. It's these people whom you must never let grab hold of your ambition and strangle your drive for challenging yourself, or challenging others, or challenging society. Their hateful and uninformed opinions are insignificant, and you mustn't let your dreams die just because someone else takes aim at you as you march to the mountaintop. I'll conclude with my favourite quote on the subject. This is a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. It's an excerpt from the speech Citizenship in a Republic, delivered at the Sorbonne in Paris on April the 23rd, 1910. Jen, you got a cracking little quote here. You'll be glad you joined. So this is Theodore Roosevelt. He says, It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the door of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails whilst daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Okay, so that's a great, the end there is brilliant, okay? You know, this guy knows if you strive, you know, even if you fail, you know, you fail daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Yes, Brené Brown shares this in a TED Talk on vulnerability. I think it's awesome. So, you know, if you take anything away from this scope, you know, let it be that last line, you know. You've got to dare to fail. And if you don't, you know, and even if you fail, you know, you ain't going to be that person who doesn't even know, you know, who doesn't know victory or defeat because they've never tried. You know, you've got to face challenge. Don't focus on those rejections and things that have happened in the past, because remember, we've said rejection happens. So Jen, you missed this bit, but rejection happens like in a really big way in our lives. On average, for the average person, you know, literally their entire life. So you get a rejection that changes you, hurts you deeply, on average 7 times in your entire lifetime. And yet so many people focus on those rejections, whereas you'll be praised and encouraged thousands of times. So don't let those 7 times, you know, and we're very lucky on here actually. Most of us kind of felt we've been rejected that changed us and really hurt us maybe twice, you know, once, twice, 3 times. Not even 7 times yet, you know, obviously we're not through our lives yet. You know, but even if that was 100 times, would it stop you from taking challenges and actually striving, you know, for more, you know, because you deserve it. So don't let it stop you. Fail, and even then you can't regret nothing because you did it. Exactly, Kat. So Brendon puts at the end of every chapter some charge points. So I just want to ask you this to finish. So the charge point for the chapter we've just read, it says, so you have to fill in the blanks here, okay? I want you to fill in this for me. If I stopped fearing rejection, a challenge I would have taken on earlier in my life would have been to ... Okay, so if you didn't fear rejection anymore, what challenge would you have taken on earlier in your life that now you can maybe take on? That, you know, you can go, actually, you know what, even if I face rejection, who gives a shit? Because I might face rejection just 7 or 8 times in my life. You know, but if I just keep taking massive action, I'm going to come across people who are just going to build me up, you know, give me compliments, encourage me, motivate me, drive me to go forward. What thing would you want to take on now as a challenge, or could you take on as a challenge within the next 30 days, say, that you would have previously been afraid of because of fear of failure? Just let me know a couple that you might do. Definitely, you know, I used to have things like this, like before I ran the first marathon, God, you know, I put that off for quite a while. Then I ran 2 one year. You know, my eyes, previously, everyone knows the condition, you know, in my eyes, that used to put me off, even kind of doing drama school, because, like, you know what, in a theatre environment, when the lights go dark, I can't see anything, you know, I'm night blind, and I have very little peripheral vision, so it's a real struggle on a stage sometimes, particularly in dim lighting. That would have, had I not pushed myself, stopped me even going. I'd have gone, well, I'm not going to enjoy it, because I want to do this, but it just reminds me all the time that there's something wrong. But you know, I figured a way through it, and I challenged myself. There's definitely things where it has stopped me though, in the past, from breaking out of my comfort zone. Not so much these days, but let us know what you could challenge yourself to do for the next 30 days that maybe you've not done in the past. Rejection motivates me, and encouragement inspires me. Together it fuels my risk-taking. You've got to keep reminding yourself of that, Sam. It's great. Absolutely. It's not a natural... to feel like that isn't a natural state for us human beings though, so it's great, you know, that you can consciously feel that. Swimming lessons. People being there put me off because I can't swim, but I wouldn't. Oh, Kat, you should definitely. And then my brother said he had a bit of a life-defining moment once when he was snorkeling with turtles. Not a great swimmer, like. But he used to chase, like I say, you know, he's pretty wealthy and stuff, and he's chased for a long time the extrinsic things, you know, the big house, the cars, that kind of thing. And he said, just very simply, he was snorkeling, I don't know where it was, in the Maldives, I think, with big turtles just swimming around him. And he's like, oh my God, you know what? Experiences are what I should be striving for, because, you know, that must just be amazing. It's not the flashy house and the cars and the suits and the watches and all that kind of stuff. Always wanted to do it. I would swim all the time, and I love it. You definitely, honestly, you definitely should, Kat. And I acknowledge you for your honesty there. Definitely, because that's you know, that's really cool. Swimming, yeah, I'm not very good at swimming. I'm better, yeah, I can swim, but I'm so slow, so slow. Me and my mate, we try and go and just do like 30 lengths of the pool, but it takes us forever. You got this, Kat, says Tony. Feeling the support, says Sam. Yeah, let us know. Maybe have a think about it, but in the Facebook group, if you're not part of the Facebook group, come and join the Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/act-on-this-TV. Or we've got another one as well for Bulletproof Actor, which is a mindset course that I run, and that's facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor. So the two groups are Bulletproof Actor and Act on This TV. Come and join them both. And then just write one thing down in the group, a challenge. I'll do it as well, I'll think of something, this is going to be great. We'll challenge ourselves to one thing within the next 30 days that we wouldn't normally have done if we'd have been fearing rejection. Maybe it's something from earlier in your life, or it's just something that, you know, you want to do now. So Kat, yours could be the swimming thing. Tony, online dating. I'm joking. I keep ribbing Tony about girlfriend. Don't worry, Tony, we'll sort that out. Reach 10k. Oh yeah, Sam, saw your picture. So Sam's been running. What did you do? 6k yesterday. Can't remember what you posted in the group. Was it 6k? And then you did something else. Did you do a bike ride or something? I try and drop into all the Facebook groups, but I just like running around a bit like mental recently. Yeah, awesome. Might have to be my challenge. Exactly. Well, if you find some sort of like really hot, like, you know, date, Tony, if she's got a twin sister, we'll double date. We'll go. I'll pop along just for moral support for you. But yeah, let us know. But yeah, post in the Facebook group, guys, the challenge that you're going to do for the next 30 days. That's actually the next activator in the book of, you know, in the chapter of challenge was Brendon says he sets himself a challenge every 30 days, which I think is awesome, you know, so it's a brilliant thing to do that. If you can accomplish that in 30 days, maybe your challenge might take you 60 days or whatever, but if you keep setting yourself challenges, then that's, you know, that's absolutely fantastic. So that's it on Brendon's book, The Charge. If you've not got it, go and get it from Amazon. It's really good. Yeah, between Chicago and the UK, yeah, we'll have to sort some kind of some halfway meeting point of Tony. Definitely. But yeah, get the book, The Charge. Awesome. And if you've not seen the previous scopes, we've done 3 other scopes on this, on 3 other chapters of this book. This is what we do on Friday nights because we're sad and we're geeks and we don't go out drinking anymore. I basically just go to the gym, pump up the guns, have a coffee, read a book. Job done. But we've looked at loads of books in the past. There's over 70 Periscope replays on actonthis.tv. Go and check them out. There's like loads of useful information there, and we have a great laugh doing this. So join more often, Jen. Definitely become part of the group, without a doubt. Next week, I don't know what book we're going to look at yet. I know what book we're going to be looking at in April. A friend of mine, Michael Hyatt, releases a book. Oh no, probably in May. Releases a book at the end of April, so we'll do it for May's book club. It's called Living Forward. Michael Hyatt, he's a great guy. Living Forward, it's about kind of stop drifting through life and actually getting a life that you want. We're definitely going to be looking at that. He's an awesome chap. But yeah, his book comes out in April. You can pre-order it from Amazon though, so that's going to be May's. April's no idea, and March's not got a clue yet, but I will let you know throughout the week, definitely. So have an amazing weekend. Challenge yourself, okay? Don't fear rejection. Go and do something this weekend you might not have done last weekend because you were scared of failure. Okay, just go and do it. Don't focus on the idiots who will, you know, just want to kind of try and, you know, stop you from taking challenges and taking risks and, you know, achieving what you want. Because there are people out there who only get significance from their lives by bringing other people down. So screw them. Focus on the thousands of people you will encounter in your life who will build you up. You know, and that's ultimately it. I said this a lot of time. Leaders create other leaders, okay, not followers. I don't want any of you guys to tune in because it's like I follow Ross's scopes. I want you guys to become leaders, and I've noticed this in the Bulletproof Actor group. Leaders are emerging, and people are buddying up with each other for accountability, and that's all awesome. And you're taking responsibility for the group. So it's not me who has to go, right guys, we're going to do this week or that. I'll obviously take care of all the live training that we do. For those who haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, by the way, go to bulletproofactor.com. You can't register for the program at the moment. It's closed whilst the initial group goes through it, and it'll reopen again probably in May, June or something like that, you know, for the second intake. But these guys are all going through a mindset program specifically tailored for actors now. The world's first high performance mindset program specifically tailored for actors. But go to bulletproofactor.com to check that out. But I'm just seeing people emerging within the group as the leaders of the group, and on Act on This, the Act on This Facebook group. It's just awesome to see, and I would encourage it. And you know, and it's so helpful for me that you guys are doing that. So thank you so much, and just keep, you know, I want you to own it effectively. I want you know, be ambassadors, and you know, pass on the knowledge and hopefully experiences that you're getting, you know, from the course. Who knows? We might start something bigger soon and have some sort of certification where people can go on and actually teach the program to other people. I don't know. Let's just think big. Right, I'm waffling now, but I'm going to go. But have an amazing weekend. Yeah, Jen will be up for it. That would be pretty cool. Have a great weekend, yeah, and I'll be back on Monday night, 10 PM, for a motivation and mind hacks Periscope. Little mind hacks, motivational hacks, productivity hacks. They're going to help you get further in your life faster. So tune in then, 10 PM on Monday. Pleasure. Thanks, Lulu. Cheers, everybody, for tuning in. And yeah, Jen, see everybody on Facebook. Awesome. Have a great one. Tony, enjoy the rest of your day, because it's not night time for you. He's in Chicago. For everybody else, get to bed and have a great weekend. Bye for now.